such as patience, service, encouragement, prayer, commitment, preference, acceptance. I guess it really takes it all to make a successful marriage. But the last two, tied together, really, I think, sums up our marriage. And that's preferring one another, and accepting one another. I looked in the thesaurus on my computer, and it gave me words for preference like favorite, partiality, and fondness. For acceptance, it brought words like tolerant, patient, long-suffering, accommodating. During the first 3 years of our marriage, we argued over how long it was. But none of those words, not one, none of those words were representative of the marriage that we had, at least on my part. So what I'm about to say to you is from my perspective, not hers. Sometimes in marriage it needs to hit a low point. It's like an alcoholic has to recognize that they're an alcoholic. You can send them to AA. You don't want me bothering the neighbors. You can, but unless they recognize they got a problem, they're not going to do anything about it. But we hit a low point in our relationship. But God was able to jolt me back to a recognition of the true value of our marriage and the true value that my wife meant to me. For the first 3 years of my marriage, we were heading for divorce. But divorce was not in our vocabulary. We don't believe in it. And so that wasn't true. It wasn't really there. But we were heading for trouble. The low point came in late 1953 or early 1954. You were already around, weren't you? That was the low point. I thought that God wanted.
Especially when you found out what I was doing.
Yeah. That was probably the low point. I thought I wanted to be, that God wanted me to be a pastor. And that was my aim, to be a pastor. And just prior to receiving a call to be pastor of a small church in Cadillac, Michigan, she told me I wouldn't go across the street to hear you preach. You are a hypocrite. And I didn't like that very much. But it was true. But not only did she go across the street, she went, and I put the mileage down, 290 miles from Chicago, where all her relatives were there. She went 290 miles to Cadillac, Michigan, a little town up north, to help me realize the dream that I had in my heart. It was a demonstration of love and a demonstration of grace that she did for me. It was after that move that I began to realize her real value to me. Until that time, she was a helpmate. She was to take care of the kids. She had 2 of them by the time I went to Cadillac. That was her job. I didn't realize her value to me as a person. The church could only afford to pay us $25 a week. So I went out to try to get a job, and in Cadillac, Michigan, it's a wonderful little town. In the summertime, it doubles, and you can get work. And I could find a little more work in the summer, but in the rest of the time, I laid floor tile for $1 an hour, assisting somebody. We were going in the hole financially, and I was realizing that I didn't have the maturity, I didn't have the understanding, I didn't have the gift to be a pastor, that this was out of place. God wanted me to love Him, God wanted me to serve Him, but more importantly, God wanted me to love her and to put her first. The priorities that I had when we first went up there was God, and I think that He was first, ministry, and I put that in quotations because I don't know what type of ministry it was, but it was serving it and to accomplish my own ends. Then she came in family. My priorities were wrong. But in coming to the bottom and the troubles that we had in Cadillac, Michigan, it was the best year and a half of our marriage, where our marriage turned around. I began to realize the rich value that she had for me, that she met my weaknesses, and I met her weaknesses, that we needed each other. And that's the way that God has designed it. Since that time, we've both been realizing the values of our differences and the importance of accepting each other's strengths and weaknesses. Together we make Ephesians 4:16 a reality, which says we are to grow and build each other up in love as each part does its work. It took not just her, but it took both of us. As each part does its work. That's the way God has designed us. And so now we intend to follow it. Hebrews 10:24, which tells us to spur one another up to love and good deeds. So after 60 years of marriage, we haven't reached perfection. We're still growing. We're still finding more to love about each other, to help each other. We're still under construction. 2 Corinthians 4:16 says, though outwardly we're wasting away, yes, inwardly we're being renewed day by day. Outwardly, we are deteriorating. We are weaker. Our bodily parts have gone a lot of miles. They're getting weaker. But inside we're being strengthened by God. Our marriage is getting stronger, not weaker. We're getting weaker. Not our marriage. Not our love for each other. And not our love for God. It's getting stronger. So outwardly, we're wasting away. Inwardly, the Spirit is renewing us day by day.